You're listening to CHLY 101.7 FM from Nanaimo.
Їхали козаки з дону додому, обманули Галю, забрали з собою. Ой, Галю, з нами козаками, лучше тобі буде, як в рідної мами. Ай, ти, Галю, Галю молодая, лучше тобі буде, як в рідної мами. Дурна дівка була, розуму не мала, поїхала з ними, та ще ночувала. Везли Галю, везли темними ярами, прив'язали Галю до сосни косами. Ай, ти, Галю, Галю молодая, прив'язали Галю до сосни косами. Розійшлись по лісу, назбирали хмизу, підпалили сосну от гори донизу. Ой, ти, Галю, Галю молодая, ой, ти, Галю, Галю молодая, ай, ти, Галю, Галю молодая, ай, ти, Галю, Галю молодая. А хто дочок має, нехай научає, темної ночі гулять не пускає. Ай, ти, Галю, Галю молодая, темної ночі гулять не пускає.
And an American group called Trio Maximovich with a traditional Ukrainian folk song that has a very tragic story with a dire warning to young girls to listen to their mother, and otherwise you can end up in some bad company and come to a very tragic end. That was the story of Halia, again by Trio Maximovich. Добрий день, шановні радіослухачі, та вітаю вас всіх на радіопередачу «Наш Холос» радіо українського коріння, яка подається вам сьогодні, так як і кожній середи з 11 до 13 години на хвилі CHLY 101,7 FM у місті Нанаймо. При мікрофоні цю годину є Павліна, а наступну годину буде з вами Оксана. Дякую, що рішили перебути з нами наступних 2 годин. Ми маємо дуже цікаві новини на сьогоднішній програмі. Hello there and welcome to Nash Holos Ukrainian Roots Radio, coming to you live from CHLY 101.7 FM in beautiful downtown Nanaimo. I'm Paula Demchuk-McCory, Pokrinskaya Pavlina, and I'll be your host for this first hour. Oksana will be here at 12 noon to host the show in Ukrainian. I'm delighted to have you with us. We've got a great program lined up for you. In this hour, we have a Ukrainian recipe, very seasonal. As well, we have Ukrainian Jewish heritage and an interview with a man from Kiev who is chronicling the disappeared and fast disappearing remaining shtetls in central and eastern Ukraine. So stay with us for his story. As well, we'll have our usual proverb of the week, other items of interest, and great Ukrainian music. And coming up next is a song by a Canadian group from Edmonton. They are called UB, and we still don't know what that stands for, but we're going to just pretend maybe or assume that it stands for Ukrainian boys. And this is a song that's, again, going out in the woods, but you're going to definitely want your mom or somebody who knows what they're doing because you're going to be picking mushrooms. Here's UB from Edmonton with Hrebe.
Ой, дівчина по риби ходила, в зеленому гаю заблудила, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла. Ой, козачі, молодий путяю, привіть мене зеленого гаю, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла. Дав дівчини коника тримати, а сам пішов дорогу шукати, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла. Ой, ти шукав до темної ночі, пала роса на сині очі, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла. Косу, ой, боюся, віка не доношу, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я маю випити горілки, хочу знати, що я розумтівки, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла, а я чорнява нічки не спала, з долею гуляла.
Up next, from the Nash Holos audio archives, Ukrainian food flair.
Hello, it's time to make your own homemade sauerkraut. I have such a very quick and easy recipe that it's definitely worth a try. You'll need the following ingredients: 8 cups shredded cabbage, 2 tablespoons sugar, 2 tablespoons pickling salt, 2 tablespoons vinegar, 2 to 3 bay leaves whole, sweet red peppers chopped. Be sure you use pickling salt, not regular salt. Choose firm heads of cabbage, remove the outside leaves of the cabbage head, quarter it, and cut out the core. Shred the cabbage with a knife or a shredder. Combine cabbage, sugar, salt, and vinegar. Mix thoroughly and put into a crock. Add the bay leaves and chopped pepper. Press down and put a weight on. Let sour for 5 days. Pack the kraut in freezer containers for freezing. Seal and freeze. That's it. Keep pickling. Try it. It's Ukrainian.
This has been Ukrainian Food Flair from the Nash Holos Audio Archives.
Зачудовано зоріє на замкову гору, телевежа таємничо манить вгорі. Чи про тебе, чи про мене, чи про наші зорі ти покинь, покинь протони і нейтрони теж. Відречися аж до ранку від своїх конспектів. Я давно тебе чекаю в синіх тінях веж, де сумують за тобою голубі проспекти після лекцій, або, як кажуть, після пар кличе серце, студентський у них стрітський пам-пам. Там я знаю, живе любов і ніжний дар. На трамваях спіши, спіши, спіши до мене, по львівській вечі, наче князь короні ліхтарі. Зачудовано зоріє на замкову гору, телевежа таємничо манить вгорі. Чи про тебе, чи про мене, чи про наші зорі ти покинь, покинь протони і нейтрони теж. Відречися аж до ранку від своїх конспектів. Я давно тебе чекаю в синіх тінях веж, де сумують за тобою голубі проспекти після лекцій, або, як кажуть, після пар кличе серце, студентський у них стрітський пам-пам. Там я знаю, живе любов і ніжний дар. На трамваях спіши, спіши, спіши до мене, по львівській вечі, наче князь короні ліхтарі. Львівські вечі, наче князь короні ліхтарі. Львівські вечі, наче князь короні ліхтарі. Львівські вечі, наче князь короні ліхтарі.
Ще одна ніч з тобою, і я до тебе вже приліз душою, але мало мені, я відчуваю в собі, мені тебе замало, мало завжди, мені так добре з тобою, коли ти поруч зі мною. Я відчуваю душою це усе мене, але тобі скажу ще. Назавжди, і я спіймаю відчуваю це залюбки. І далі, далі нехай моя кохана знає, любов зростатиме, ти відчувай, мені так добре з тобою є, коли ти поруч зі мною є. Я відчуваю душою це усе мене, але тобі скажу ще.
And a young Ukrainian singer and songwriter, and he found us rather on Facebook, and sent us some of his music, and that is one of his songs. It is called Ще день, and that means another day. And before them, you heard Rosa, a girl group from Montreal, and Lvivski Вечір, Evening in Lviv. Ви слухаєте радіопередачу «Наш Холос», радіо Українського коріння на радіостанції CHLY 101.7 FM у місті Nanaimo. Говорить Павліна. And you're listening to Nash Holos Ukrainian Roots Radio, coming to you live from CHLY 101.7 FM in Nanaimo. I'm your host this hour, Pavlina. Well, back to some music, and we have Mandra, another group from Ukraine, and very popular, very prolific. They've been around a while, and this is one of their more recent releases, a song called Tingalinga.
Чашка — це Індії, берег, де сонце і спека. На моєму столі мапа, вогонь і ганжа. Я люблю сонячні хвилі і промені Бога. А ще я люблю цілувати тебе, моя тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, тінгалінга. Мого неба торкається сонце, і небо сміється, і дарує незвідані крила й дорогі ганжа. Твої очі зелені, як море, як райдуга серце, і теплим промінням своїм огортає мене, моя тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, тінгалінга. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой. В нашій І в небі птахи, а у горах тумани і трави. У джерелах вода, а повітря солодке й п'янке. Я співаю, і пісня оця у горах лунає. Ти теплим коханням своїм огортаєш мене. Моя тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, ага, ага, тінгалінга, тінгалінга. Ай-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй-яй. Ой-ой-ой-ой-ой-ой.
And now for a look at Ukraine's rich Jewish heritage, then and now, brought to you by the Ukrainian Jewish Encounter based in Toronto, Ontario. This is Pavlina, producer and host of Nash Holos Ukrainian Roots Radio. The Jewish population of Ukraine before the Second World War was over 2.5 million. Now the current population is only around 100,000. A whole world with its very own culture, rules, and customs was decimated in the Holocaust. Decades later, descendants of survivors, along with friends and supporters, are working hard to piece together remnants of this once vibrant world. In western Ukraine and other parts of the former Austro-Hungarian Empire, many restoration and educational projects are underway. But in eastern Ukraine, not so much. One man, however, has taken on the gargantuan task of cataloging Jewish shtetls in eastern Ukraine. Vitaly Buryak recently discovered his Jewish roots. In the process, he created a website called History of Jewish Communities in Ukraine. The URL is jewua.org. I came across his website while doing research on shtetls. Vitaly, also known as Chaim, kindly agreed to tell me his story so I could share it with you. Here is part of that conversation. So, first of all, could you tell me about yourself?
My name is Chaim Burak, and I'm living in Kiev. I'm 32 years old. My father is Ukrainian and mother is Jewish. So, according to Jewish law, I'm Jewish.
Yes.
I was born in Preluki, it's a city in Chernihiv region. Studied the school in Nezhin, where my parents still living, and started my university in Kiev in 16 years ago. Mm-hmm. And for last 16 years, I'm living in Kiev.
Okay, and so what do you do there?
I was working in different IT company and still working in IT. I'm the software engineer.
So why did you decide to create this website and embark on this ambitious project? It's basically, you're doing it as a hobby?
Yes. I'm doing this in my free time. It's not much free time, but I'm trying my best. Why I decided? Good question. All my life I was interested in history. I read all historical books. Not a Jewish, maybe first Jewish books which I read was 6 years ago. So all my previous years of historical experiences was just common history and also in military history.
What was it that inspired you to do this?
So one time I visited in Israel as a part of the Taglit program. It was like birthright trip that each person can emigrate to Israel, can make a short visit in Israel.
What happened next?
The famous genealogist tried to find a person who will be a tour guide in Jewish Kiev and proposed small courses. And person after these courses, theoretically, a person will be able to provide some tours in Jewish Kiev for different tours. And I decided to join these courses. And after this, I made the first steps in my Jewishness, maybe, because before I didn't know what it means to be a Jewish. What is a Shabbos? What is a Torah? Whose was Moshe? Like, it was like a fairy tale for me.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. I was born in a very assimilated family. I know nothing about my Jewishness. Full empty zero.
So how did you find out about your mom then, if your mom isn't an observant Jew?
I always know that she is Jewish because in my birth certificate it was mentioned. And the whole my life I know that my mother is Jewish. But for me it was like a fairy tale that you're Jewish if only your mother is Jewish, that it's not passed by your father. And I get this information maybe only 7 years ago, 6 years ago. Like before, it was like some kind of mystery for me.
Wow!
And also, one guy in Kiev asked me to fill his website. He asked to make small descriptions of the shtetls in any place of Ukraine. He gave me a book and asked me, please put all information from this book to website. And again, I will give you like some money for this. It was like a job. And I started to read. And I started to read this book. It was 100 shtetls in Ukraine, but really maybe 20 or 30 shtetls was described in this book. And I started to read about the shtetls. I know that Jews lived in Ukraine, that thousands and thousands of Jews lived in Ukraine, that before the war, millions of Jews lived in Ukraine. It was a Holocaust. So I know history well, and I know what's the Babi Yar, but it's like was not so close to me. It's like, for example, you hear now about some civil war in Syria. For me, it was like the same. Like something happened with somebody in this territory. Okay, fine, but it's happened since 70 years ago. Why I should feel something about this? And for me, it was like news that there were places in Ukraine where Ukrainians were minority and majority were Jewish, and all the Jewish population disappeared. And no Jews left now. It's now a small village inhabited only by Ukrainians, but this place has some Jewish history. And the next step was when I became a tour guide. One tourist from US wanted to visit his shtetl, his ancestral town, where his great-grandparents escaped 100 years ago, and he wanted to visit it. Okay, fine. And theoretically, yeah, we Google and find that it was, by the way, not the biggest, but only one fully Jewish settlement in Chernihiv region. It was a small village, just 600 Jews lived there before revolution, but it was fully Jewish. No Ukrainians lived there. And I Google it, and I find information that one local historian lives there.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, I called to this person, and he said, I already researched a local history for the last 40 years, and I spoke with people who know all these Jews very well. So, come on, came, and I will show you all the sites which I know. And we visited this shtetl, and this local historian show all sites. Jewish cemetery, a former Jewish cemetery, because it's a garden and a potato is growing there now.
Oh.
And he showed the site of the synagogues. It's just a site. Nothing is there. It's like some space between two buildings.
Oh.
He showed the oldest Jewish building in this village. So this guy from the US was fully satisfied. But for me, it was like a shock, because I did not even think that some villages in Ukraine have some history. Before, I read about this only in books. But wait, one another story about this trip. This lawyer from US wanted to visit two places. First one was this village, Dmitrovka, Also, he wanted to visit Priluki. Priluki is the place where I was born.
Oh.
And I contacted with the head of local Jewish community, and my grandma is still living there, and this head of the local Jewish community knows very well my grandma. And he showed the places which I didn't know before in my city where I was born. My grandma didn't show to me synagogues, didn't show me a Jewish cemetery, didn't show Holocaust killing site. Also a place of the ghetto. She didn't show to me. I walk on this street, I see these buildings before, but I didn't know that it was a synagogue, for example. And it was like a shock for me.
And so she didn't tell you anything about your Jewish heritage at all?
I didn't ask, and she did not tell.
I
know that my great-grandma was from the poor family, and she evacuated her family, all her sisters, and my great-grandpa and great-grandma, they all went to Kazakhstan. That's why they survived, and I was born. From Priluki ghetto escaped only around 10 people, and survived, I found 4 or 5 among 1,200 people. So it really was no chance to survive for Jews in Priluki during the Nazi occupation.
Oh, wow. Wow. What does the word shtetl mean exactly? I mean, on your website, you have a quote there that says it's not exactly a town, not exactly a township.
Good question. Shtetl is a Yiddish word which means a small settlement.
Okay.
Something middle between village and city, because in that time, I mean, 18th, 19th century, Jews, they live in these shtetls, very crowded. So usually the central street of the shtetl is like a whole street of the buildings, close to another building, without gardens behind them, because the Jews didn't allow to have land. Also, Ukrainian lives in these shtetls, but usually in the center live Jews, and in suburbs lived Ukrainians. Anyway, the place where majority were Jews, and it was not big. The whole population was less than 10,000, less than 5,000 people. And I created a list. I created a list of these settlements where more than 1,000 Jews lived. I created this list for each gubernia in Ukraine and get like a plan for my research. So the plan is very simple: to write at least small article for each place which is in my list. And also I'm trying to not lose time on Western Ukraine, because Western Ukraine, became a part of the Soviet Union only before World War II. And Jewish life stopped here only in 1941 during the Holocaust.
In Western Ukraine.
Yes. And for this period between the First World War and Second World War, many Jews immigrated to Israel, to Palestine, it was called before, in US, in Canada, in England, and they brought some photos, they brought some books, and wrote many memory books. And Western Ukraine is really investigated very well. So if, for example, you will start to Google about Zlochiv, you will find tons of materials about Zlochiv. But if you will try to Google about Dimir is a village near the Kiev, 20 or 30 kilometers in the center of Ukraine, you will find, I think, only my article. I visited Dimir 2 years ago. I find local historian. He showed me remains of the Jewish cemetery. He showed me a killing site. It's just a field. Nobody marked mass graves there. So hundreds of Jews are still living there, and they planted grain on it. They showed the sites of synagogues. They showed the former Jewish neighborhood. They showed me the last prayer house, and we spoke with the owner of this building, and he gave to us part of the door with mark of mezuzah. He gave me a saw, and I cut this part of the door and brought it to museum, to Jewish museum.
What is it?
Mezuzah, it's a small scroll with the words of Torah. It's really small, around 10 centimeters, not more, which should be put it on the door, on the right side of the door, in any Jewish home. It's maybe the last material part of the Jewish dimmer history, because another is just photos and memories, but it's a real thing that you can touch. That's why you'll not find Western Ukraine regions on my website. I just trying to describe places which wasn't described before.
Yeah, because there's a lot of work being done in Western Ukraine. But yeah, you're right. Eastern and Central Ukraine, I don't have much information.
So look, if you will check a statistic of the Jewish population before the revolution, you will see that, for example, in Kiev gubernia lived more than 400,000 Jews. And in Chernigov gubernia lived around 40,000. So if you will move to the east, you will see that Jewish population decrease, because you know the Jews appear in Ukraine from Poland, and most Jewish places in Ukraine were Western Ukraine, Podolia, Volhynia, and partially Central Ukraine, and Eastern Ukraine didn't have much Jewish population.
Okay. So what you're interested in is areas that are still undiscovered or under-researched, and people just haven't, there's no information about that.
Sure. I only try to search in the internet, and I see that some place really wasn't described. Like, for example, community in Rozhishev. Rozhishev is a center of the district in Kyiv region, not far from not from the Kyiv, like maybe half hour of the driving. Mm-hmm. And more than 6,000 Jews lived there 100 years ago, and no Jews live now there. And if you try to find something about the Jewish history, you will find nothing. Like, all this community just disappear, and that's all. No traces. Yeah, there are some traces in archive in Ukraine. In Kyiv archive, they have really tons. And I'm speaking about not the number. I'm speaking about the weight of this paper. Tons of the documents.
Really?
Very interesting.
Wow.
Yes, they have shtetl maps, surnames, different files. And if you have time, in 1 month, describe history of this shtetl like you live there.
Wow. Okay, just the question, where are they stored?
In Kyiv archive. There are a few archives in Kyiv, and they store this information.
Okay. Why is it important for you to, essentially, these are ghost towns. The shtetls have disappeared. Why is it important for you to chronicle that information, compile that information when there's nobody there anymore?
I don't know why it's important for me, because sometimes I feel that it's important only for me to describe a history of this community, which will disappear in 5-10 years, and no Jews left there. But this place had some Jewish history, and sometimes it's 300 or 400 years of Jewish history, and it will end in my days. And sometimes I feel that I need to describe it and get it made public. Why it's important for me, I don't know. Sometimes I ask a question, what's the sense? What's the sense to visit it, to spend your time? But I like it. I really like it. I try to spend my vacation on the beach, and I lie on the beach and start to think, what I'm doing there. I really don't like this. I don't like this beach. I don't like this food. I don't like this sun. I don't like this sea. Better to me be in the middle of nowhere. Sometimes it's really middle of nowhere. You have very, very bad roads. Some parts of Zhytomyr even is badly inhabited due to radioactive pollution.
Right.
And you went to this place and start to speak with some old people. What did you remember something about the Jews who live there? And so sometimes I think that it's something not very normal with me. Sometimes it's very funny, but I really like it, and I don't know why I like it. And that's how I spend my free time.
It's important to you. It interests you, and it's important to you.
Yes, but sometimes I recognize that it's important only for me. No, and other people care about this old village, that even the village will disappear soon, because in some places, population, for example, 100 years ago was 2,000 people, and now 200 people.
Yeah.
And you see that it's only statistic to 200. In reality, it's 50 people live there.
Yeah.
And you see that it will disappear soon. It's not like a Jewish place disappear soon. It's like a Ukrainian place disappear soon.
Oh, okay, I understand. So they're going to become ghost towns eventually.
Yeah.
So, and you're not a historian by trade or anything, but you have this mad passion for his history. So that's wonderful. And you know what, it's lonely work what you're doing, but I don't think that it's frivolous. I don't think it's meaningless. Certainly, I think it has great value, and somebody will thank you for it. So what are you looking for help from the public?
Just materials and not more, because this research don't need much money. Photos and maybe some memories, maybe some books about the shtetl, because some books, for example, were printed in very small circulation, and you cannot even find this book in internet. So okay. I really seeking for information from them, from family photos, any memories from the pre-revolution life.
And how would they get them to you?
Like you find me via website or via Facebook. I have a Facebook group, also very nice group, Tracing the Tribe in Facebook. More than 20,000 people.
Oh wow!
Who are searching for Jewish roots.
Okay, and do you have another site?
I have my own group, JewUA.org, Shtetls in Ukraine, and the website, JewUA.org.
Well, Chaim, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Dobranich. Bye-bye. Chaim Buryak, creator and curator of the website JewUA.org. You can find him there and also on Facebook. Just search for JewUA.org and also for Tracing the Tribe. This is Pavlina, producer and host of Nash Holos Ukrainian Roots Radio. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Ukrainian Jewish Heritage. Thanks for listening. Until next time, Shalom. Ukrainian Jewish Heritage is brought to you by the Ukrainian Jewish Encounter based in Toronto, Ontario. To find out more about their work, visit their website and follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Transcripts and audio files of this and earlier broadcasts of Ukrainian Jewish Heritage are available at their website, ukrainianjewishencounter.org, as well as at the Nash Holos website, www.nashholos.com.
Я люблю волю, просив далечінь, бо я порлак з далеки поколінь. В одному місці я не можу жити, і ти, о матре, все мене котить. Як заблискетле сонце небесах, як зачумить вітрець по деревах, тут тілі кров моя захопить, і ти, о матре, все мене котить. Орі, życia porlackie, życia podłuże jak junackie, zarydne nami sila własnaja, ory usel, любов прекрасная. Ori, życia porlackie, życia podłuże jak junackie, zarydne nami sila własnaja, ory usel, любов прекрасная. страшит порияни Рим. Престори свит се ята мени дим. Я мантрувал порек доленах, полюби небо седьо мене дах. Мене не спе, не море океан, мене не страшит на вітер-рекан. До невигод сил, яких я привик, моя знам'я потерти черевик. Ori, życia porlackie, życia po duszejach junackie, zarytne nami sela własnaja, ori usel любовь прекрасная. Ori, życia porlackie, życia po duszejach junackie, zarytne nami sela własnaja, ori usel любовь прекрасная. Życia porlackie, życia po duszejach junackie, zaredne nami sela własnaja, ori usel любовь прекрасная. Ori, życia porlackie, życia po duszejach junackie, zaredne nami sela własnaja, ori usel любовь прекрасная.
And from Winnipeg, Manitoba, that was High Profile from their second CD, Tribute to Ukrainian Heritage, and a song about mountains, Hore, Hore. Vyslухайте радіопрограму «Наш Холос» радіо Українського коріння на радіостанції CHLY 101.7 FM у місті Nanaimo. Говорить Павліна. And you're listening to Nash Holos, Ukrainian Roots Radio, here on CHLY 101.7 FM in beautiful downtown Nanaimo. I'm your host, Pavlina. Up next is another group from that same area. This group is from Steinbach. Actually, it's a musician that is a favorite of many of us listening out here on the West Coast. And this one is going to go out as a special birthday greeting and dedication to Leona Osowetsky from Nanaimo. And this is a lady that's pretty much responsible for the whole Ukrainian community here on Vancouver Island. She's been around a long time. She's done an incredible amount of work. So just a hat tip and hats off to Leona. And just happy birthday, Mnoha Yelita. It is today. So here is a song by, I know, one of her favorite musicians from Steinbach, Manitoba, Jaden Chornaboy. And here he is with Doroha Moja Mama, the Dear Mother Waltz. And one of my favorite folk dances, that was the shotis by the Ukrainian old-timers. It's called Grandma's Shotis. And again, before them was the Dear Mother Waltz by Jaden Chornaboy. Цю годину була з вами Павліна. Нагадую, ви слухаєте радіопрограму «Наш Холос», радіо нашого коріння. Залишайтеся з нами наступну годину. Далі передаю мікрофону Оксані. Запрошую послухати трохи про історію і традиції, розповість Оксана. Але перед тим я хочу залишити вас такими словами мудрості. Одна сталь, але не однакова її ціна. And our proverb of the week translates as, all steel is steel, but the price is not always the same. Well, my time with you is almost up, so we'll have one last toe tapper for you by a Winnipeg group called Sluhai and the classic Who Stole the Kishka. And that brings us to the end of the first hour of Nash Holos Ukrainian Roots Radio here on CHLY 101.7 FM in Nanaimo. Please stay with us as Oksana takes over the microphone to host the next hour. Meanwhile, please join me here again next Wednesday from 11 a.m. till 12 noon. And until then, do stay in touch with both Oksana and me via our Facebook page and Twitter. If you're able to catch the live transmission of the show, make sure to use the fantastic new media player at www.chly.ca. If you miss the live transmission of any show, you can always catch the podcast. There's a media player as well as a link to the Nash Holos podcast feed at our website, which is www.nashholos.com. We're also on Mixcloud along with the other fine programs here on CHLY 101.7 FM, so do follow us there. So stay tuned next for the Nash Holos Ukrainian Hour with Oksana, followed by Wellness Wednesday to learn how to be healthy naturally. And at 2 p.m., join Gord Bibby for 2 hours of great oldies on Groovin' with Bibby G. I'm Pavlina. Thanks so much for listening. Do zустрічі.
Someone stole the kishka, someone stole the kishka, someone stole the kishka from the butcher shop. Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Someone call the cop. Round and firmly fully back, it was hanging on the rack. Someone stole the kishka when I turned my back. Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Oh, please bring it back. Take my zhinka and my fine horilka, even take my rubber boots, but give me back my kishka. Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka from the butcher shop? Now Willie found the kishka. Willie found the kishka. Willie found the kishka. He hung it on the rack. He found the kishka. He found the kishka. He found the kishka. Willie brought it back. Someone stole the kishka, someone stole the kishka, someone stole the kishka from the butcher shop. Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Who stole the kishka? Someone call a cop. Now Willie found the kishka. Willie found the kishka. Willie found the kishka. He hung it on the rack. He found the kishka. He found the kishka. He found the kishka.